Hello, and thank you for tuning in to this episode of Gallivant with Kris and Tony. Today we're going to continue on with our bourbon series. I hope you tuned in to our previous video where I did an old fashioned with some good Kentucky bourbon, which is a segue into this episode, which is bourbon candied pecans. And then our third video in the series is going to be candied pecan biscotti. Being that it's the fall, now we're going to start baking, and so I just wanted to start off with that cookie to get things going. But I hope you did tune into the previous video. And again, let me remind you, if you do like what you see, please give us a thumbs up. And we really appreciate it if you subscribe. Kris and I would like this channel to continue to grow, and we can't do that without your help. So really appreciate it if you subscribe. You can get notices every time we post a new recipe, or show us gallivanting to a new destination, whether it be on a cruise or just a road trip, or just to the fair. If you didn't tune into that one as well, we went to the Pensacola Fair, which was a good time. Smaller fair, but definitely enjoyable. But again, I'm glad you tuned in for this episode. And let me show you the ingredients for these bourbon candied pecans. All right, so here we have half a pound of pecans. It's definitely good to weigh it out. I have 8 ounces here, it's half a pound. Those are ready to go. We have a half a cup of white granulated sugar. We have 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar. We have half a teaspoon of salt, followed by a half a tablespoon of cinnamon. We have 1 egg white. And then we have, we're gonna do a dash of nutmeg back here. And we're gonna do on vanilla is gonna be half a tablespoon of vanilla extract, half a tablespoon of honey, and 1/2 tablespoon, actually we're gonna do a full tablespoon of the bourbon. In one bowl, we're gonna put all the dry ingredients in one bowl, put all the wet ingredients in the other, and add the pecans to that. And then once the pecans are all coated, we'll add it to the dry ingredients and get them going on a baking sheet lined with foil. We got over here, and you're gonna preheat your oven to 250 degrees, which we have going right now to get that up to 250. But let's get the ingredients mixed up. All right, so in our bowl here, we're gonna add our half a cup of white sugar, 1/8 of a cup of brown sugar, our salt, and our cinnamon. We're going to mix that up. See a couple lumps in there. There we go. We're going to set that aside. Now in this bowl, we'll add our wet ingredients. We'll start with our 1 egg white, followed by our tablespoon of bourbon, followed by our 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla, and then a 1/2 tablespoon of honey. And since not every bit of honey is gonna come off of this measuring spoon, we'll add a little extra, because you know a little is gonna stick to the spoon. And if anybody knows a way, like if you coat the spoon before you put the honey to make sure everything fall off, feel free to put something in the comments. I'd really like to know how to avoid that honey. I don't know, maybe a baking spray of some sort. Anyhow, we got that in there. And we're going to whisk this just until it creates a froth. And by froth, I just mean a little bit of foam. So there, it's got a little froth on there. Now to this, we're going to add the pecans. I'm going to give that a good stir around to get all the pecans coated. And obviously you can tell when everything's coated by when everybody's nice and shiny. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use a slotted spoon and transfer these pecans into the bowl with the dry ingredients, because you don't want to just pour it in there. There's going to be a lot of extra liquid, and then yeah, you just don't want all that liquid poured into the dry ingredients. So that looks good. Everybody's good and shiny. They're wet and ready to go. Now before we do that, we are going to put a dash of nutmeg into the dry. So just a little bit of nutmeg. And let's get a slotted spoon to transfer the pecans. As you can see, there's a good amount of liquid at the bottom there. You just don't want to pour that in to the dry ingredients. Honestly, once you transfer this then onto the baking sheet, it makes it too sticky and it gums up and it'll just create clumps, because you're going to want to try to separate the pecans as best as you can and spread them out on that baking sheet. So we're just going to get this all stirred up. So this looks pretty good. That's how they should look. All right, so we have our slotted spoon. I'm just going to take these and spread them out a single layer across the foil. Now, I've seen this also done on parchment paper. If you didn't happen to have aluminum foil and you only had parchment paper, you could probably do that. I think the aluminum foil kind of helps the heat, because it obviously is going to be hot, and we want these to get pretty toasty and crispy, actually. You know, you want that coating to get crunchy on the outside. Get those divided up like that. Once your oven's preheated to 250 degrees, slide them in there. Once you get it in the oven, you're going to want to give it a stir every 20 minutes. Move things around. You want to flip them over if you can. Make sure both sides are toasted and crunchy. So through that hour and 15 minutes that they need to be in the oven, every 20 minutes you're going to want to kind of move them around and give them a good flip. All right, so we're ready to go in the oven. While we're waiting for that oven to get up to 250 degrees, we're going to take another sip here of this old-fashioned. And again, if you missed the previous video, tune into that. It's a real quick recipe for a classic cocktail. It's worth a try. You know, it's always good. Coming up on the holidays, a good time for some cheer, some holiday cheer. That's good. All right, so oven's ready at 250 degrees. We're going to put our pecans in. This is how they should look. Everybody's all nice and shiny, ready to go in, get heated up. All right, we're going to set our timer for 20 minutes. We'll do it in 20-minute increments. That way we can give it a good stir. And then after an hour and 15 minutes total, we'll pull them out. Everything will be ready. Okay, timer went off. Been in there for an hour and 15 minutes. We flipped them around every 20 minutes just to make sure everything was good. We'll pull them out. All right, so this is how they should look. Nice and golden, a little hot. Yeah, crunchy on the outside. You're supposed to let these set, but of course I want to taste them. Tastes great. Smells incredible. So we're gonna let these sit, let them cool. We'll take them off that foil and be ready to go. So our pecans have cooled. So we're just gonna take a spoon. I'm gonna put them in this airtight bowl because, like I said, I'm gonna use some of these for our candied pecan biscotti. And then what we have left over will just be snacking. It's nice as they don't, even though they may be a little stuck to the foil, it comes off really easy off the foil. There we go. But that sound's a good thing. That sound is good because they're supposed to be crunchy like that. You wanted the coating to be toasted, baked on there. I'm gonna fill this bowl up just perfect here. As you can see, there's a little bit of the coating stuck on there, but that's fine. But here you have what they're supposed to look like, which is really good. I mean, they're great. Again, crunchy, not too sweet. These are going to be great broken up in that biscotti. So there you go. Bourbon candied pecans. Really very good. Well, I definitely appreciate you tuning in for this episode of Gallivant with Kris and Tony. But I definitely appreciate you tuning in again. Thank you. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it if you subscribe. Help us grow this channel. And you know what? Have a great November. And we'll be talking to you soon. All right. Thanks. Bye.